2026 SAA Provincial Curling Championship gold medalists. And what the high school boys curling team is made up of players from both the Brooks Thompson High School and St. Joseph's Collegiate. They represented Brooks at the provincial championship this year in Slave Lake and came away with the gold medal. And so the team is made up of the lead, and that would be, for the skip, I guess that would be Justin Morasic. What we've got is a certificate of recognition from the city of your accomplishment. So what we'll do is we'll just get you can hang on to this, and we'll get you just to stand over to the side for a second, or do you want a picture? Here, come back here. Looks like you want to take pictures already. Okay, we had the Peyton, who is the lead. Peyton Wagner. Yeah, so you don't take pictures? Oh, okay. Yes? And then we have Jesse Elbert, who is the second. Okay, and we have the third, Micah Fontaine. Again, I want to congratulate all four of you on winning the gold medal up there in Slave Lake, because that's quite an accomplishment. So now what I'm going to do is get the four of you lined up here in the front, and then all the counselors will come back down here and we'll stand behind.
You guys want to take those sticky notes off there? Yeah.
I just had to make sure the names were
We're
right.
all 7 feet tall.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're kind of hidden here, so, yeah. So you can stand to the front here.
What if we stood like behind the counter and then we're
Car.
fired?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. That might be the best option.
Then we'll back up.
Sorry, you boys are like 18.
Okay, we'll go behind. Now, I don't know if all of you want to stay around, but you're more than welcome to leave if you so desire. And thank you for coming. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 4:35. You have the agenda in front of you, and there has been a motion moved by Councillor Nesbitt that the agenda be adopted. All those in favor? Carried?
No,
Oh,
I'm not in favor.
okay.
I propose to remove, can you hear me? Sorry, I propose to remove item 6D. Council removed the permission requirement last council meeting. What new information has come forward that would justify revisiting that decision, particularly given Canadian law allows a participant to record a conversation? In the interest of standing behind our decisions, I make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended with item 6D removed.
Okay. All those in favor? What's that? Okay, discussion?
So is the suggestion that this gonna go back to committee or?
Well, I guess I question why it was brought back for this, so.
Go ahead.
So the question become, could it stay and then be discussed and then if it goes one way or the other?
Can
Or,
we?
or are we suggesting to not have a code of conduct at all?
No, sorry, the code of conduct can be there, but 6D says that it was added back in that you have to ask permission again. And last council meeting, when we approved the code of conduct, we got rid of permission being needed. And I'm saying it come back to us that permission is needed. I'm not sure why it did that, because Canadian law allows a participant to record a conversation that they're in. So that's why I'm not sure why it's back here.
Councillor Johnson?
Through the chair to Councillor Regner, can we not leave it on the agenda and have that conversation when it comes up in the agenda?
I guess you could. This is what I understood was the protocol to do this to the agenda, was to delete it right off the hop. It saves us dealing with it later on. If that's wrong, let me know.
Councillor? Okay. CEO Legore?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, you can either make a motion to remove an item from the agenda when it's adopted, or you can discuss the item when it comes up and defer it back to committee, or defeat the matter. Thank you.
Okay. So, Councillor Idris?
Can I make small amendments? Can we remove it and take it to committee?
Yeah.
So motion to remove and take to committee.
Councillor Phillipson?
I'm glad it's back on. I think I can only speak for myself. I didn't think about it well enough, and I'm glad it's back on the agenda to deal with again.
Okay. So, right now, we'll make a motion whether or not it's going to be on the agenda.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, you already have a motion on the table to remove item D. You'll have to vote on that.
Okay. So, motion to remove item D. All those in favor? 2. All those to defeat it? Motion. Defeat the motion? Yep. Okay, so it's 5-2. Okay? So, now we'll vote on the amendment when we get to it. It's going to be on the agenda. Okay? So the motion by Councillor Nesbitt that the agenda be adopted has been carried 5-2. You've gotten the minutes of the previous meeting of February 23rd, 2026, and it's been moved by Councillor Falkenberg that the minutes from the regular council meeting held February 23rd, 2026 be approved. All those in favor? Carried. It has been moved by Councillor Johnson that the following items of correspondence be received as information. A, update council conferences and/or workshops. Council committee report from Councillor Nesbitt. Council committee notes February 17th, 2026. Newell Housing Foundation minutes February 3rd, 2026. And the Downtown Brooks 2025 annual report. All those in favor? Carried. Business has been moved by Councillor Phillipson that council appoint Vicky Belanger, Sandy Haberman Melville, Christy Waldner, Debbie Smith, Jim Smith, Bill Belanger, Andrea Flatla, and Ruby Hanrahan to the Business Revitalization Zone, BRZ, Board effective March the 1st, 2026 and ending March the 1st, 2027. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Number B, moved by Councillor Regner that council appoint Amanda Goodenough, Dwayne Perkins to the City of Brooks Municipal Policing Committee as citizen at large member for an initial term of 3 years beginning March the 10th, 2026 and ending March the 9th, 2029. All those in favor?
Did we not hear from who's presenting this, or no?
Well, we could, yeah.
This is a new committee, shouldn't
Yeah. That would be Amy. Oh, or
Thank you. Through the mayor to council, so before you is a request for decision for the initial appointment for the Brooks Municipal Policing Committee. The Brooks Municipal Policing Committee has been formed by legislation. So it's an initial appointment of the initial appointment will be for 2 community members or members at large to join the appointed councillor, who is Councillor Johnson, who is appointed at the initial city organizational meeting of the year. The board can be comprised of up to 7 voting members, with 3 voting members being required. So up for discussion is the appointment of Amanda Goodenough and Dwayne Perkins to the City of Brooks Municipal Policing Committee as citizens at large members for an initial term of 3 years beginning March 10th, 2026, ending March 9th, 2029. There's no financial implications associated with this decision. Therefore, administration recommends that City of Brooks Council appoints Amanda Goodenough and Dwayne Perkins to the City of Brooks Municipal Policing Committee as citizens at large members for an initial term of 3 years beginning March 10th, 2026 and ending March 9th, 2029.
Okay, so it's been moved by Councillor Regner that council appoint Amanda Goodenough and Dwayne Perkins to the City of Brooks Municipal Policing Committee as citizen at large member for an initial term of 3 years beginning March the 10th, 2026 and ending March 9th, 2029. All those in favor?
So I remember when we brought this first, and it came to me from when you said the financial aspect of it. Are we going to pay for the clearance from now on? Like, there was a question about, is the clearance forever going to be covered, or is it only the initial appointments? Do we know about that?
So through the chair to Councillor Idris, for the last enhanced clearance, I don't think I had to pay. I don't think we ended up paying for it. We might have paid for the initial board members.
They say, I think the conversation was that this very first time, the clearance will not be paid for, but from now on, maybe. So do we know now?
So, moving forward, if it was, No, you can go ahead.
Through the chair to Councillor Idris, when this was first introduced, the province was going to pay for the enhanced clearance for the because this is a new requirement, but at that time, they did say that moving forward, the municipalities would be responsible, but I'm not sure if that might have changed.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, seeing none. Again, it's been moved by Councilor Regner that the council appoint Amanda Goodenough and Dwayne Perkins to the City of Brooks Municipal Policing Committee as citizen-at-large members for an initial term of 3 years, beginning March the 10th, 2026, and ending March the 9th, 2029. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. The next motion is for the Brooks and Recreation and Parks Board member appointment. It has been moved by Councilor Idris that Dwayne Perkins, 1 year absence from the Board of and District, Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board be waived, and that he be appointed to the board as a City of Brooks citizen-at-large member for a first 2-year term commencing March the 10th, 2026, and ending March the 9th, 2028. Questions? Okay. Go ahead, Tabitha.
Through the chair to council, under bylaw 2204 regarding Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board, citizens at large members for the city of Brooks are appointed by you, the council. Dwayne Perkins is currently an active member of the Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board. His third term was up February 5th, 2026, and he would like to be considered for another term on the board. Bylaw 2204 also states that members having served 3 consecutive 2-year terms shall not be reappointed without an absence from the board for at least 1 year. The council of the appointed members shall have the right to waive the required absence at its sole discretion upon receiving a request to do so from the board. So that's what's happening here. The Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board made a motion at their February 18th, 2026 board meeting recommending that Dwayne Perkins' required absence be waived and that he is appointed for a first 2-year term to the Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board. Therefore, the Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board is recommending Dwayne Perkins' 1-year absence from the board be waived and that he be appointed to the Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board as a City of Brooks citizen-at-large member for a first 2-year term commencing March 10th, 2026 and ending March 9th, 2028.
Go ahead.
I'm not necessarily against this waiving of 1 year. I'm just wondering about the number of people that you have on your board. There's 14 of them. So anybody could be on the board? Is there a rule 14, 15? How does it work?
So the bylaws lay out who is part of the board and how the board is comprised. There are 2 councillors from the county, 2 councillors from the city, which is 4. There's an additional 2 members from Grasslands School Division and Christ the Redeemer, which is the Catholic school. And then the rest is made up of citizens at large from the county and the city and a youth citizen at large as well.
Any further questions? Okay, Councilor Regner?
So the timeline set out in section 310 gives specific allotted time with the one year break. The seat has been occupied for 6 years, so doing this again could be a potential another 6 years. So this person could potentially sit on the board for 12 years, correct?
Through the chair to Councillor Regner, that's what I understand, yes.
Okay, so you have to advertise it. So question is, was the position advertised as required for a vacant seat in the bylaws?
The position was not, it was not. My understanding is that the vacancy, when he indicated that he wanted to stay on the board, that was enough to ask for this absence to be waived. Typically, we find it hard to find members to sit on the board. I think this is the first time in a number of years that we've had the full 14 sitting on the board.
Okay, so I'm a member of the rec board. So the agenda of Wednesday, February 18th, there's an action item in there that said that you would post a vacancy for the recreation board vacancy. If no eligible applicants are received, they will need to make a motion to submit a request to council to waive the required absence and allow D. Perkins to be reappointed for the first term.
Through the chair to Councilor Regner, that was an action item that was assigned to me before the next meeting that we had at the end of February. I had got clarification on that, and I reported back to the board before they made the motion before you, or the recommendation before you.
So is this that we're not advertising because we didn't expect anybody to apply, or that we preferred the current member?
That we have a current member that is actively seeking reappointment.
Okay, so being on the board, and I thank Mr. Perkins for being on the board. He's on several boards, actually, as a community member. But the ability for more citizens to be on a board, to have input, new blood, if you will, which we can all attest to that. I would like to see it advertised to see what we get before we give the one, like, waive it. Because if we're going to waive these whenever they come up, we might as well just eliminate, just be on the board as long as you want. Like, these were put in place, policies were put in place for a reason. So I would like to just give it a try, see what we get. And if we get nobody, then welcome. If we get people, then we know that that's a positive.
Councillor Falkenberg?
I understand Councillor Regner's point, but this is a request coming from a board, from an upstanding citizen that I could personally vouch for, and so I will be voting in favor of this motion.
Councillor Johnson?
Just to both my fellow councillors' points, I don't think that anybody is disparaging this particular person. And I think to the point is we want to foster community input, right? We want to foster communities, people from the community joining these boards. And if we're not at least advertising, I think the perception could be that we're not giving them an opportunity to join. I think that's where everybody's trying to go with this. I'm not saying on this particular appointment, but I think maybe we should be looking at that as a council to ensure that we are giving citizens of Brooks an opportunity to join these boards and become, active in our community.
Go ahead, Councillor Regner.
I too, it's not about the person for me. I think he's a great person for standing up and doing what he does. I think every board that brings forth a waiver stands behind that person as being an excellent candidate. I think that goes without saying. Therefore, if take the position just by itself. You have a seat, you've served your term, it's now vacant, we require 1 year, we advertise it. If we don't get anybody and nobody wants to step up, I see there's our option. However, if somebody steps up, thank you for your time, you've waited a year. A year from now, somebody else is due, they step down or they go through the same process. I just think by giving it constantly, because we did the same thing for, I believe, the library board, had the same person come forward, which, again, if nobody's taken the vacancies, then we have, that's a great fallback, if you will. But I still think that advertising it's either going to get new blood into the system, or it's going to prove, Councillor Falkenberg's point, that it's hard to get people to step up. But our policies show that we should be giving the opportunity to the citizens, and that's what I'd like to see happen.
Councillor Falkenberg? Okay. Councillor Idris?
My suggestion would be to, and not specifically on this appointment, my suggestion to be is to clarify what our practice in our interpretation of the terms of references are. Because on another committee, I know, for example, someone that finished their 2 or 3 terms, and rather than waiving the 1 year, what we did is just we extended the appointment for 1 year or 2 years till we found someone else. So that is 2 practices, and maybe this committee works this way, this committee works this way. So maybe we need to go through our terms of reference from a policy perspective to create a consistent interpretation and approach to the appointments, the waiving or not waiving of the 1 year. And then if we waive the 1 year, does that mean a full new cycle, or just it means an addition of 1 or 2 more years, so that when we apply it, then we apply it consistently.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other further comments? Councillor Falkenberg.
I'd just like to repeat, I agree with all the points being made. However, this is a board that has requested this. I'm also on this board. I understand that this board is waiting for this appointment to be made. This is a discussion that should be had. Right now, I don't believe that's the time. I think we need to vote on this matter.
Yep.
Councillor Johnson.
Can I, through the chair to administration, can I request that we will vote on this particular matter, but can we, I want to follow what Councillor Idris said, and that we do look at terms of reference on committee sooner rather than later and get this ironed out?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, Councillor Johnson, yes, we could make a subsequent motion that we review committee appointments. As you know, I've already recommended council look at how we appoint members to committees. So, short answer, yes. Thank you.
No. Right now, we'll move along with the motion, and then we'll discuss the other in a committee meeting. So it's been moved by Councillor Idris that Dwayne Perkins' 1-year absence from the Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board be waived, and that he be appointed to the board as a City of Brooks citizen-at-large member for a first 2-year term commencing March the 10th, 2026, and ending March the 9th, 2028. All those in favor? So, all those opposed? So 6-1. We'll move on with policy F002-008, Customer Code of Conduct, and that will be Amy.
Thank you. Through the chair to council. Administration has amended one clause in the recently approved Customer Code of Conduct policy, and that clause now states that customers cannot film or record staff without permission when it disrupts service operations, and the recommendation is that council approve the amended policy.
Okay, any questions? Councillor Regner.
The bylaw already addresses the behaviors that are of concern, including verbal abuse, intimidation, threats, aggressive behavior, and actions that disrupt service delivery. Because those behaviors are already covered, staff already have the authority to end an interaction if someone is acting aggressively or disrupting operations. If recording were done in a disruptive way, that would already fall under those provisions. I believe this concern relates primarily to interactions at public service counters with city staff. Those employees deserve to be treated respectfully while performing their duties. However, the question before us is whether a citizen should be required to ask permission to record a conversation they are part of. Under Canadian law, a person who is part of a conversation may record it without consent from the other party. Requiring permission in this bylaw effectively removes the ability for the citizens when interacting with the city. The city already records citizens on video in our buildings through security cameras, although those cameras do not capture audio. If a dispute arises about what was said, it can quickly become a he said, she said situation. Allowing someone to record their own interaction simply ensures there is an accurate record of what was actually said. An objective recording can protect citizens, but it can also protect staff if a complaint is made that is not accurate. For that reason, I believe the focus of this bylaw should remain on behavior and disruption, not on requiring permission to document a conversation someone is part of.
Okay. Counselor Phillipson.
I think if it makes staff more comfortable to be able to refuse permission to videotape or make an audio tape, then I think we should respect that. And it comes down to respect. So if I'm working at a counter and somebody is it doesn't even have to be rude. If somebody asks me if they can videotape a conversation, I feel I should have the right to say no, thank you.
Counselor Regner.
Two things with that is that if I ask for the ability to record this conversation and I'm told no, that's starting the confrontation on my behalf, right or wrong, that started that. And I guess my thing is, where does safety come into it where I'm recording the conversation? If anything, if I'm an employee, just as I'm the person standing, the citizen, I have to be respectful, I have to watch what I say. And it's just recording the interactions, and it's keeping both accountable. If I'm doing the recording, I'm going to make sure I'm not being ignorant or threatening or intimidating. And it also holds staff accountable to the same degree as the citizen code of conduct. So I tried to find if we had an employee code of conduct, but I didn't have much luck doing that.
Any further? Counselor Nesbitt.
So I fully agree that I think that our staff need to be respected and that they should be given the opportunity to say whether or not they will be filmed, because when we go into meetings sometimes it's a custom or a policy now that if somebody is going to film something, tape something, they will put that camera in front of you and they'll say, we're going to film this, and everybody at the table can say yes, no, or otherwise. And I think it's just a level of respect, and I support this change in our policy. Thank you.
Counselor Regner.
So my question to Counselor Nesbitt, when you say attend a meeting, you're talking about like any meeting, but not in a but not in a public space. This is behind closed doors meeting or private meetings, but not in a public space?
It can go in both ways. Like there's public meetings that I've attended where people say, I'm just taping this, because they just do that as part of their process. But it gives me the opportunity to think, well, okay, I know that it's being taped, and it's a very good standard of policy, I think. If to be let known that that is happening makes me more comfortable.
So I can get behind the letting staff know that I come up and I'm like, I'm recording this, just so you're aware. I can get behind informing staff that they must inform staff. I support that as far as acknowledging it. I think in today's society, you assume you're being recorded at any given time. We have cameras on us now. We have audio when we're in committee. We have to be careful with what we say. I've learned that. Maybe we all have. But I don't think that it's unreasonable when the Canadian government says that, you have the right to record a conversation that you're involved in, that the city puts a stop to that. Somebody comes into City Hall and says, you're recording me and I don't want you to record me. Your option is to leave. And you're trying to deal with something. If the city wanted to go and put audio recording at the stations, I'd feel more comfortable, because then it's not a case of he said, she said. There's actual something to back it up.
Counselor Nesbitt.
So through the chair, back to Council Regner, then maybe that's what you should do, is bring it back into committee and we'll discuss audio as part of our features here. But I still think that it's respectful to allow our staff to have that option of giving their permission. That's my stand.
Counselor Johnson.
Thank you. Through the chair, back to Amy. I want to understand exactly what I is trying to say. It says filming or recording staff without permission when it disrupts service operations. So my understanding, and that's where I guess I want clarification, was when we went and talked about this last council, we were talking about somebody jumping in front of a snowplow and trying to film them, or jumping in front of, a piece of equipment like a lawnmower that was operated by city staff. That was my understanding of this whole section. It's not about the counter staff. It was about when it disrupts service operations. Can you clarify? Because I think maybe this is getting out of control.
Through the chair to Councillor Johnson, my understanding is when it says disrupts service operations, it could be anything. It could be the front counter. Anytime where you are not able to complete your job the way you normally would complete it, then someone is obstructing your ability to complete your task or your job. So it could be at the front counter. It could be in outdoor operations. It could be anything, really.
CEO Legore?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, a similar policy like this was adopted by the town of Devon a few years ago, and they won an award for it. To me, by putting in without permission, just shows that you have respect for the staff, and they're asking their permission. Do you mind if I record this? If the staff declines, the CAO's office is your next recourse, and they will resolve it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Regner? Oh,
Question on when it disrupts service. Can you give me some examples of that, please? At the counter. I'm talking at the counter.
Through the chair to Councillor Regner, I would say even if someone feels uncomfortable that there's a recording device there, they're being obstructed from completing their duties as they normally would. Obviously, that's on a case-by-case basis, but depending on the person, if someone has a recording device there, it might feel threatening and they might not feel comfortable completing their normal duties.
CEO Legore? Oh, see, Councillor Idris.
So, question and then a comment. So the question is basically, we are saying if someone comes in politely without any aggression or anything and says, can I record this conversation? There is still a possibility that the staff member will say no, and this will, as per this policy, and that person will not be able to record.
Through the chair to Councillor Idris, yes, and then as CAO Legore said, if that staff member doesn't feel comfortable with that, they can be directed to our CAO, and it can proceed from there.
Okay, then before I give my comment, I want to ask the CEO, what would happen if that is the situation? Someone comes in politely with no aggression, no intimidation, asks for a recording, and the staff declines, and then it comes to you. What would happen then?
Through Mr. Mayor to Councillor Idris, it would depend upon the situation, but most likely you would deal with the matter without it being recorded.
Okay.
Or with recorded, if the individual wanted, the customer wanted it, we could, because you've got two people there, you've got a third person involved at that point. So it's not going to be he said, she said, because you have a witness. You follow what I mean?
So then, okay, so basically, it's what I understood what it says. It says that the recording is in the discretion of the staff, basically. It's not about the person who came in for the service, and that is where I have my problem is. The City of Brooks, councillors, staff, everyone that's associated with providing a service here, this is not a business. This is a public service. This is a place that we serve in the pleasure of the citizens of Brooks. I think the Canadian law says that a citizen can record if it's not disturbing, if it's not doing anything. I work for this citizen. We all work for this citizen. I think the citizen should be allowed to record if they are not, and if they are doing anything, whether it is raising their voice, whether doing anything that disturbs the service, then that is without even the statement having that without permission, we cover that. One last thing. I was going to say one last thing. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I think they should have the right to record.
Sure. Councillor Falkenberg?
I can see both sides. But I also agree, like, I don't understand how just simply recording can interrupt service. I can't understand how an aggressive person can interrupt service and can act threatening. But I don't think staff should just simply be able to, like, I'm not dealing with you because you're recording this. At the same time, I don't think people should be recording without the knowledge of staff. So I am stuck here as well, because again, I see both sides. But the wording of this is, to me, is a little tricky. But
Councillor Regner?
In regards to your statement about the town of Devon, that, you know, that the respect for their staff, it's a code of conduct for the citizens. And so to show respect for the citizens, that's where it comes into, you come in, the Canadian government allows you to do this. We respect your rights as citizens of not only Brooks, but Canada. So do as you're allowed to do in Canada and record it if you like. If our staff feel threatened about that, I guess they have the ability to walk away and let you come to the counter as well as a CAO.
Okay. Councillor Phillipson?
One last comment. I think we're overthinking it. Just leave it in. What's the big deal? It's not going to happen every day. And if it turns into a problem, well, we'll revisit it. But I don't think it's as big a deal as we're making it out.
Okay, back at you. If it's not such a big deal, let's just omit it. So I'm trying to put reasoning behind it, not just that dismissing it as not being a big deal. I think it is a big deal.
Councillor Falkenberg?
I don't want this to be put out that people are making a big deal out of this. I don't think anybody's really making a big deal out of this. I can see how it could become a big deal. I don't see it, again, I personally don't see it as a big deal that an interaction is being recorded. I could see it as a big deal if that person's not aware that it's being recorded. Yes, it's not a big deal, and I'm sure this is extremely rare that these occasions that we're talking about it, which for me, it'd be easy to just be like, yeah, I don't really care. But at the same time, we are voting on this. And some good points are being made on both sides.
CAO Lagore?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just something to think about. If you ask permission of the staff to record it, the staff person is probably going to be much more cordial, respectful, and careful of what they say, less confrontational. So there's the advantage of that. When they know that they're being recorded, they're going to hopefully treat the person a lot better. I hope that we treat them well all the time, and I think we do. I have never encountered, in the year that I've been here, almost a year that I've been here, I've never encountered a situation where we've had a staff being treated unjustly or a customer being treated unjustly. Thank you.
Councillor Regner?
My turn.
He was up before you.
Sorry. Yeah, to ask permission again to, like you said, you haven't experienced that, but I'm aware of a situation that has happened, and you're very much aware of the situation as well. So to have it recorded, if staff feels permission should be given, to Councillor Falkenberg's point of them knowing it, I'm perfectly fine putting a sign up in our lobbies or at our counters that say if you choose to record, you must inform city staff. That's not what we're saying.
Councillor Johnson?
Thank you to the chair, to my fellow council members. What if we changed it to say, instead of without permission, without prior knowledge? Would that kind of be a happy medium for everybody? So without prior knowledge, so if we come in and we're gonna tell them we record, I'm just trying to find a happy medium for everybody. If they know, then it's the opportunity for the staff to say, we'll get another staff member that's more comfortable with this. Or, are we splitting the baby too much? I'm just trying to find a way that we can get this off the agenda.
Yeah, I think what I'll do is call for the vote, and everybody can vote which direction they want to vote on the item.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, there is no amendment on the floor.
Okay. So it's been moved by Councillor Phillipson that council approve policy F-002-008A entitled Customer Code of Conduct. All those in favor? All those opposed? All those in favor again? So 4. All those opposed? All those opposed? 2? And 1 abstaining? Carried. Carried. It's 4. Huh?
It's still 4-2.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I apologize. I thought I was allowed to abstain. I apologize, Mohammed. I will vote for.
Okay, so 5-2.
Sorry.
Aren't we allowed to abstain?
Apparently not. Okay, aquatic attire policy, which is Director Shantz.
Thank you. Through the chair to mayor and council, before you is a request for decision for City of Brooks aquatic attire policy, as well as an additional community peace officer position, CPO, to be created. The decision comes with an overarching desire for increased citizen safety, both in our city facilities as well as our outside areas, with focus on the JBS Canada Centre, as well as traffic safety in the community. Section A for the aquatic attire policy, which is attached, patron attire standards in public pools directly affect the safety through water quality, slips and fall risks, life-saving measures. It also requires inclusivity and the ability of frontline staff to apply rules consistently. As the city facilities increasingly host a diverse range of users, staff and facilities users require clear, practical guidance to apply attire expectations fairly and respectfully. An explicit policy supports a welcoming environment and consistent decision-making by staff. For Section B, the security needs at city facilities with a priority on JBS Centre, as well as the Alberta Traffic Safety Act. At our city facilities, most notably JBS over the last year, there's been an increase in vandalism, especially to outdoor and indoor washrooms. Multiple recent incidents of teen-on-teen assaulting and fighting at JBS Centre. Criminal trespass by teens and adults known to the RCMP in all areas of our city, as well as some adult leagues and adult swim policy breaches. So the current model, which is facility staff with on-call enforcement, leaves our evening peak hours, which is the highest incident window, underserved. Adding one CPO to the City of Brooks Municipal Enforcement Department to create an evening station at JBS Canada leverages our existing supervision systems and dispatch while improving coverage exactly when and where incidences arise. Traffic safety has also become to the foremount of citizens' concerns within the community, which would also be able to be enforced in the major corridors and busy facility zones by our CPOs. Therefore, this proposed CPO position provides dual community benefits of enhanced on-site evening security, including JBS Canada and expanded traffic safety enforcement capacity. So the options up for discussion are option 1, which is adopt the aquatic attire policy and create one new CPO position. Option 2, which is adopt the aquatic attire policy only with no change to security measures. Or option 3, do not adopt the aquatic attire policy or change security measures. Financial implications associated with these decisions. For A, the aquatic attire policy, there's no financial implications associated. For B, security needs at city facilities, including Traffic Safety Act enforcement, a new community peace officer would have financial implications of salary and benefit, initial training, equipment, and onboarding, and a vehicle, which is the major revenue driver, which would need to be fully traffic safety and security equipped at an expense of approximately $150,000. It would be a capital purchase, so the capital purchase could either be made in 2026 or allocated in the capital purchase or the capital budget for 2027. But the vehicle is essential for the traffic safety operations. So the next section covers the revenue and offsets. So as most of you know, the fine revenue sharing for CPOs is shared between the province and the municipalities. So the municipalities, the CPOs, keep a 70% share of any revenues generated for the city. Traffic fines increase in the province of Alberta effective next week, with significant increases to traffic safety violations for speeding, distracted driving, and other ones we see in our community in Brooks, including no registration or insurance. There will also be operation savings. There's reduced evening overtime for CPOs that are currently used for enhanced traffic safety operations and callouts at JBS Center in the evening shifts, as well as decreases in insurance and asset protection, including claims when damage is made. Cost recovery projections, you can see the cost recovery there. It's fully expected that with a dedicated CPO vehicle and steady traffic enforcement program, that the full operating cost recovery for this new position will be within 2 years from initial hiring. Recommendation, administration recommends option 1 above, that City of Brooks Council adopts the city aquatic attire policy and approve the creation of one new full-time community peace officer position within municipal enforcement as outlined in this RFD. I'll put it to you for questions.
Questions? Councillor Regner?
Our CPOs right now have body cams.
Through the chair to Councillor Regner. So the body cameras were approved by you council for this fiscal budget, so they are currently on order and incoming.
Okay, so we'd have a body cam included in this package?
So you're through the chair to Councillor Regner. So through the initial budget, there was body cameras allocated for 3 CPO positions. For the 4th CPO position, we'd have to approve another body camera.
So I believe for the JBS, with our new pool policy, I think it's going to be very important for the public interaction to have body cameras. So if you need us to approve something like that, I would like to add to this to make a motion, if I can, that we support getting a body camera if we go ahead with option number 1.
CAO Logor?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Wagner, your motion is in order. However, your CAO can also approve a body camera, additional 4th body camera within current policy.
Okay, I know we did. I just want to make sure that it's coming, not think it's coming and then it not come. So if I can please make a motion to approve a body camera for our CPOs, I would like to do that.
So through you, Mr. Mayor, I would deal with the motion you have on the table and then deal with subsequent motion to purchase a 4th body cam.
Councillor Johnson?
Thank you. Through the chair to Director Shantz. I just wanted to reiterate publicly, I appreciate all the hard work you put into this. I've been fighting for this for 4 months, so I'm glad to see it. I do want to know if motion is passed today, when will the aquatic attire policy come into effect at the JBS Center?
Through the chair to Councillor Johnson, it'd be in effect immediately.
Councillor Regner?
My understanding is that when we implement the policy we're going to have enforcement. So does that mean in order to have enforcement tomorrow, if you implement it, we're going to cycle through our existing CPOs? Because I understand to get a CPO hired, educated, certified, whatever, is a bit of a process, correct?
Through the chair to Councillor Regner, yes, you are correct. Hiring will take some time, as well as vehicle purchase, body cam purchase, everything that is, if it is approved by council. Our existing CPOs will be assisting in policy enforcement as outlined in, it's at the very back of the section, under section 9. So it has about 4 options for our staff members to utilize for enforcement of policies.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, it's been moved by Councillor Nesbitt that council approve policy C-004-002 entitled Aquatic Attire Policy and approve the creation of 1 new full-time community peace officer position with municipal enforcement as outlined in the request for decision. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Move on to bylaws. Bylaw 26/015, road closure bylaw. Director Tiffin.
Yes, thank you very much. Through the chair to mayor and council. With the construction of a new residential development on the 1200 and 1300 block of 2nd Avenue East, it was noted that a laneway within that property will no longer be required by either the city or the developer. So the process by which a municipality closes a road, a lane, or a transportation right-of-way is via a road closure bylaw, which you have before you today. First reading is typically done just to introduce the road that is intended to be closed, and it's then followed by a notification period and advertising and notification of internal and external stakeholders. It would then be followed by a public hearing. So in this case, the laneway that is being proposed to be closed is not actually a developed laneway, it is simply a planned future laneway. The concept plan that was approved by council on October 6, 2025, shows that the developer plans a new road to be built in very close proximity to where this laneway is now, but not exactly over the existing right-of-way. So instead, the developer is requesting that the City of Brooks close this road, and then when they move forward with their subdivision plans, which will be coming forward to council, the new road allowance will be allocated at that time, and then the residential lots identified along the new road. There are no financial implications to the City of Brooks. This 3.5 hectare parcel of land was sold to this developer in 2025, and we're happy to see them moving forward with their plans for a number of new residential parcels. So staff is recommending at this time that council complete first reading of bylaw 26/015 and schedule a public hearing for April 13th, 2026 at 5 p.m.
Okay, questions? Councillor Falkenberg?
Through the chair to Director Lisa Tiffin. I'm so happy you explained that this laneway does not currently exist. I was actually very confused looking at this plan. Will the lots that are on this plan also, like they will also be different? Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yes, through the chair to Councillor Falkenberg, all of the lots lines will be changed, as well as where the road positioning is.
Councillor Johnson?
Thank you. Through the chair to Director Tiffin, very similar probably to what Chad was asking. With that being said, so the lots are going to change. Is there still going to be emergencies, like a new roadway for emergency services and all that kind of stuff as well?
Yes, through the chair to Councillor Johnson, the concept plan that was approved by council back in October shows a new road that comes off of Second Avenue and then connects to Meadowbrook Drive at the east. So it will kind of be like an L-shaped or a dog-leg road. So vehicles will have two methods of entering and egress into the subdivision.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we have two motions. So the first motion, moved by Councillor Johnson, that bylaw number 26/015, being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta, being a bylaw for the purpose of closing a roadway within Plan 981-3007, lying within Block 1 and Block 2, be introduced and read a first time. All those in favor? Carried. Second motion, moved by Councillor Idris, that a public hearing be held on April 13th, 2026, to gather public input regarding bylaw number 26/015. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. And we will move to adjourn. It's been moved by Councillor Falkenberg that the meeting adjourn at 5:32. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you.